The leading prophet of the robot age is Isaac Asimov. Robots, he believes, will soon turn from fiction into fact, and the problem for the future will not be an engineering one, but a sociological one. How will humans and robots live together? But the kind of robots that Asimov visualizes are not like this. This is a slave robot, controlled by a human operator from a safe distance and designed to explore where no man could live, searching for debris in a radioactive environment. But as a robot, this falls short of what Isaac Asimov believes we may have to come to live with.
I wonder if we will make robots so much like men and men so much like robots that eventually we'll lose the distinction altogether and have a combined culture. This may be the best after all. Maybe humanity itself will die out as humanity and sort of melt into this machine culture, which won't look like a machine culture, but to an untutored Martian may look like a human culture all along.
Sure you got the running on block?
Both.
That looks real good. Okay, let's go back to normal respiration.
Normal respiration. Full amplitude, about 18 per minute.
Got a pretty good amplitude there. Let's cut that amplitude down. And still maintain the reduced.
All right, there we go. We've cut down the frequency, down the amplitude. Change the pressure here a little.
Here we are a long way from Isaac Asimov's dream of a combined robot and human culture. Trying to imitate only a few outward human reactions has resulted in this complex plastic and metal masterpiece. The man who designed and built the body is a mechanical engineer, Don Carter.
As an engineer assigned to a project where you're trying to mechanically reproduce a human being, you're bound to run into a lot of problems. And one of them, of course, was reproducing the eye system itself. We're involved in reproducing the I Dilation, and this is a tricky little system that we developed. It changes the diameter of the pupil from 1 millimeter to 8 millimeters, and it's accomplished through a elastomer dilator, which deforms against the plastic eye form and displaces fluid in the eye, much as you would see a young child pressing his nose against a candy store window. The eyelids have the eyelashes contained right on them, and of course, when they're mounted in the head, in the skull, they give a fairly realistic appearance.
If the robot ever passes the critical point and starts building his own autonomous culture, he will build one to suit himself. Maybe he will stop being our shape.
These robots are called Unimates. They are building each other. The man who is responsible for Asimov's sinister prediction apparently coming true is the president of Unimation Incorporated in Bethel, Connecticut, Joseph F. Engelberger.
Well, the only reason why you would consider it sinister for a robot to be building a robot, you would assume they could be self-perpetuating and presumably take over for the human being. But you must recognize that behind every act of that robot, there's human thought that prevailed, and there is nothing in the robot's current intelligence that would enable it to come even close to independent thought. And we don't even contemplate giving the robot independent thought. There's no need for that.
Humans are regulated by law, and we may have to legislate for robot behavior too. Isaac Asimov has already put his name to a set of 3 laws for their construction. Robot builder Joseph Engelberger knows and respects them.
Now, the three laws of robotics are that, one, a robot must not harm a human being or, through inaction, cause harm to come to a human being. The second law of robotics is that a robot must always obey a human being unless it's in conflict with the first law. And the third law of robotics is that a robot must never let itself come to harm unless it's in conflict with the first and second laws of robotics.
The test will not be how lifelike a machine looks, but how intelligently it acts. And in that respect, Arthur Clarke, a well-known forecaster of technical possibilities, thinks the machines will overtake us.
A great deal has happened very quickly with computers, and people have exaggerated ideas about their capabilities. But the fact is that all present computers are mechanical morons. They cannot really think. They can only do things for which they are programmed. But this will not always be true. In fact, probably before the end of this century, we will be able to construct computers or artificial intelligences which can go out on their own and develop lines of thought irrespective of any programming, and which may, in principle, be more intelligent than we are.
But is intelligence the only thing? Could it not be that a machine, having grown more intelligent than man, could also become more ethical, can also become gooder, if I might use that expression? In other words, might not the intelligent machine feel a warmth for humanity, a feeling of responsibility? Could he feel gratitude for his own existence? It would have been man, after all, that had created him. Could he not take measures to ensure man's well-being, not because we command him to, but because he wants to?
What you can't have in a robot is any motivation. It cannot have its own aim, which it sets for itself, because for this an emotional brain is necessary. And we could never put emotional brains into a robot, in my opinion, and certainly if we did know how to, we wouldn't be so foolish as to do so.
I mentioned before the three laws of robotics. We're designing the robots so that they'll obey those laws. They won't do away with people. And what they'll do is they'll enable people to do more human tasks. The human being at the moron level. And I bring that up only because so many people say that, well, gee whiz, automation and things like that, what are we going to do with our lower-class citizens, so to speak, lower-class citizens? Well, a moron is actually a highly developed creature. And only a person who's designed a robot can develop a real respect for a human being.
In other words, the effort to make robots perform extremely simple tasks is really the necessity of solving the basic problems. Once they are solved, there will suddenly be much less difficult problems to solve in order to get the machines to reach the heights. In other words, it's as though, as I sometimes said, once you've managed to maneuver the car out of the garage, the rest of the trip is easy.